The impact of Mattel's partnership with the Mattel Children's Hospital at UCLA over the past 15 years has been extraordinary. We're proud to continue our exceptional collaboration with the hospital, which remains at the forefront of children's healthcare nationally and internationally. As a part of this commitment, we're pleased to be one of the initial investors in Dr. Sharon Devasker's vision for the UCLA Children's Discovery and Innovation Institute, and remain dedicated to her goal of transforming children's health care, creating a brighter future for all children.
Well, when Emily was born, she arrived on her due date, Monday morning, 9 a.m., which is sort of typical of Emily. It's like, okay, on schedule. She was very athletic, very smart, very funny. You know, she was always she had a lot of personality. She had her annual appointment for a physical, mostly because she had to get a form filled out for Girl Scout camp. The next morning I got this phone call saying there's something wrong. And I just kept thinking, this is a mistake, it's a blip, it's something, she's got some stupid virus and it'll be gone in a week. It ended up being MDS, myelodysplastic syndrome, which there is no protocol for pediatric MDS. The best course of action was to have a bone marrow transplant. She kept a positive attitude. She perked everybody else up. She was like, oh, we'll get through this. You know, I'll be back at school, I'll be back at school. You know, she was determined to get back to school and be with her friends and just go on with her life. It was like, okay, this is a hiccup. You know, it's like I've gone on this little adventure and I'll be done with it. They were about to lower her dose of various things. We think she's going, you know, getting better. And then she's having a breathing problem all of a sudden. It's like, why is this? We don't know. So they send us to Children's to start getting testing.
When I first met Emily, she was done with her bone marrow transplant. She was actually doing really good, and she was in clinic for a follow-up visit. And it was a couple of weeks to months after that we realized that she was more short of breath and that her bone marrow transplant, her graft, was actually attacking her lungs and causing a lot of inflammation and damage to her lungs.
They finally decided that she had bronchiolitis obliterans. So bronchiolitis obliterans is a progressive lung disease of which there is no cure.
We tried a number of different therapies, each time hoping and praying that that therapy would work. But unfortunately, she didn't respond to any of those therapies, and her lungs just kept getting worse and worse. Eventually, she ended up on a breathing machine, but even that wasn't enough to sustain her. Her lungs were too damaged.
This is the last picture of Emily. We lost her March 9th, 2006.
The fact that Emily didn't respond to any of the therapies that we had available was really frustrating to me, and I just thought it wasn't acceptable. That's why we took it back to the lab and we started to work on therapies for lungs. My lab studies lung repair and regeneration, and this was what we decided we needed to do. We needed to figure out a way to build new lungs so that if a patient like Emily came along in the future, we would have a therapy for that patient. The Institute came about because we really needed a home for pediatric research. The Children's Discovery and Innovation Institute brings together all of these scientists to discover new therapies and make advances for pediatrics. We are working with a bioengineering group to make new lungs that are specifically designed for a particular patient. This is a collaboration between a bioengineering group at UCLA and my lab. These are extremely talented people who are able to coax these adult cells into stem cells. We're part of this very rich tapestry of incredible innovation and science, and we just work tirelessly knowing that there are patients out there that need this as a therapy. I think the major breakthrough for us has been to actually make the three-dimensional air sacs. This is an incredibly difficult structure to model in 3 dimensions, and now we're working on the functional aspect. We're working on getting these cells to actually be able to exchange gas. So in 5 years' time, we hope to have little structures that will work like a lung, that are to be designed specifically for a patient. Being a pediatrician and a mom makes all of this very real for me. Our daughter is 8 years old now, which is almost the age at which Emily was diagnosed. And she's also, full of fun and full of life. And I know that she would have gotten on really well with Emily. That's what really drives me, that's what inspires me to do research, because I won't accept that. I don't want to accept that for my patients. And so that's why we work to try and find new therapies for patients like Emily. The breakthroughs that have been made in the last 5 years are absolutely astounding. We can do it. We are now poised to be able to make major discoveries for many diseases. And that's really what the Children's Discovery and Innovation Institute is all about. I just want to be able one day to look a mom in the eyes and say, yes, we can help your child. We've done the research, we've put in the long hours, and we can save your child's life.
I would never want this to happen to another family. Anything they can do is a blessing. So it doesn't happen to another girl.